You know which player played for the most teams in NFL history?
Oof.
That's going to be my off top.
I don't.
Is it Josh Johnson?
Mina.
That's nailed it. That's.
Are we recording?
Off top. It's a little less exciting now because Mina actually got the question right. I was about to shock everybody with which player played for the most teams in NFL history, except Mina barged in with Josh Johnson, 14 games. Play the music.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.
Welcome to the Domonique Foxworth Show. We're joined, as we are weekly, by the great Mina Kimes, who's in a good mood because she was right and everyone likes being right. Hey, Mina.
I just love that fact, too. Josh Johnson, civil rights icon, right? Black journeyman quarterback. Come on. I mean.
That is true. That's a fair point. There aren't any of them. There aren't any other ones. I guess Josh Dobbs right now. Maybe you got to be named Josh.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Tyrod.
Yeah.
He's playing this weekend. We're getting a Tyrod start.
We are getting a Tyrod start. Tyrod is flyest player in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like fashion-wise.
Is he?
Yeah.
What's his? I know nothing about this.
Yeah, Tyrod is
extremely cool guy.
Is an extremely cool person and is always celebrated for his extremely well-dressed guy.
I think though the answer you were asking before we started recording, like, what does it take to be like that journeyman quarterback who hangs around and plays for a zillion teams? You gotta be cool. I feel like you don't have to be, but being liked in the locker room. And I don't think there's a player who I have spoken to with other players more who people like more than Tyrod Taylor. And that,
You also kind of, I mean, I guess this figures into the cool part is like be talented enough that they respect you, but not quite good enough that you're scary.
Perfect.
And if you are scary, Chargers team doctors got you.
Oh, God.
Tyrod Taylor swallowed a quarter when he was 7 years old.
What?
Yeah. He said he's flipping a quarter up and down and accidentally
tried to catch it in his mouth? Like, how else would
he was lying down on the couch.
What is that? That makes no sense. Yeah. Like, I'm not a doctor, but like
he pooped it out.
If you're lying down on a couch, it's not going to go straight down. Like, how does the throat work? I'm confused.
I
don't know.
Try to swallow a quarter.
Yeah, I would think so.
Accidentally swallowed a quarter.
Well, the man's always been accurate, I guess. We'll leave it at that. And today is, as we do with Mina, it's our good, bad, and then Charlie closes us out with a bad.
I got two bad bads this week.
You got two bad bads?
Two bad bads. I don't know if you're going to agree with both bad bads, but I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, don't spoil it. We'll get to the bad bads.
Yeah, Domonique, do you want to give us your good first?
Oh, yeah. I think this is obvious. Ravens and Lions at Ravens. It's the Monday night game that we have at ESPN. And I can't wait to see this matchup. It's going to be – so the interesting part, I think, is, for me at least, the Ravens offense, how productive are they going to be early against the Lions defense? I think getting the Lions in a situation where they do not have the threat of the running attack. Because the Ravens, and it's early in the season to be relying on some of these statistics, but early in the season so far, the Ravens haven't been great against stopping the run. If the Lions can run the ball well, and that, I mean, I'm talking design runs, take the scrambles out of it. It's tough to use that as like a defining characteristic because it was like the Browns, they were beating the hell out of the Browns and the running. There were some more successful runs in that game that I would think of. The same thing is true for the Bills game.
Yeah.
It's like there were more successful. If you lose like success rate.
They had 46 yards on the ground against the Browns. So like they were.
No, I'm talking about the Lions run game.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So I'm making the point that I think the Ravens need to score early so that the Lions do not have the threat of running the ball to use play action. Mm-hmm. If they score early, this is going to be out of hand. I think the Ravens are like they're talented enough and well coached enough to attack any defense. But I think this Lions defense is particularly susceptible because they focus on man and they blitz a lot and they open themselves up to explosives.
I think you're absolutely right. I think also we'll probably say that about every Lions game this year. Like if you can get a lead through script or just take the run in general, you know, is the difference between game 1 and 2 for Detroit. Mm-hmm. Game 2, they ran the ball extremely well on Chicago, which has a terrible run defense. And then on play action, Jared Goff had like 20 seconds to throw every time. Yeah. You know, it was just like, that's the formula. The Ravens offense is elite, but the Ravens defense is, I'm still kind of figuring it out. Yeah. You mentioned this. The Browns ran on him a little bit. Yeah. Quinshon Judkins had a couple big runs. Went back and watched it. They put in a new linebacker next to Roquan Smith. I thought he was a little bit up and down against the run. And, we know what Detroit wants to do. They want to go under center. They want Jahmyr Gibbs to run off tackle. So just kind of, can you stop it? I think that's going to be a huge.
Well, and also we should mention the Lions' interior offensive line, which in week 1 against the Packers, we started hearing the names Mahogany, Ratledge, replacing Frank Ragnow, and then week 2 that sort of went away. And I do think it's a question about how quickly that line's gelled versus the Packers just eviscerating every
right. But it's kind of like one of those. This is a great week 3 thing, right? Because it's like, is the Packers defense just so good, or is the Bears defense so bad?
Right.
And the truth is probably somewhere in the middle for this Lions team.
You mentioned the style of runs too, and I think that's important to point out is the style of runs that the Browns and the Bills were having success against the Ravens. The same stuff that the Bills do. It wasn't like with the threat of Josh Allen running the ball. Like it was under center, like power runs, and as talented as Madubuike is in the middle, he's a smaller guy and he's alone there.
He does not look like a interior defensive lineman when you see him in his pads.
Figuring out this defense, I think, is a good way to put it, Mina, because the talent is there. The I guess reputation carrying over from last season was there too, but I don't know if they've been tested in a way yet to see how good this defense really is.
Pardon me.
Allergic to bad defenses, Mina.
You're talking about no nose tackle, cough. On the other side of the ball, are we taking it for granted that the Ravens are just going to move the ball on Detroit? I think they will. I think getting Isaiah Likely back is huge in this. Yeah. I think that 12 personnel passing attack was so good last year, and they haven't really been able to get anything going with Mark Andrews.
I was going to ask you guys the same thing, where it feels like this offense, I know I feel this way pretty much every year with the Ravens at this point, so I'm not really breaking that, right. But the offense feels unstoppable. And if I were to, if this game does not live up to expectations, and I wonder if you feel the same way, it's just because the Ravens offense is too much for the Lions to even keep up with, where they just roll them because of that.
So last time these teams played in 2023, that's what happened. They went up and then the Lions had to get away from the run, and then exactly what Domonique said played out, and they beat them 38-6.
I took a quick peek at that game to see how they approached it, and they didn't approach it in a way that I thought inspired confidence defensively. And I tried this morning to think of all the places where I thought the Lions had advantages. Like, what type of game would they want to play against the Ravens defense, against the Ravens offense that would give them an advantage? And I really couldn't come up with anything. And they want to play a lot of man. They want to blitz, but they're not an all-out blitz team. I would rather them all-out blitz Lamar than do a fire zone that could be picked up. And they don't have coverage guys that are lights out shutdown, because I would say the Ravens have a lot of good weapons, but they don't have a blue chipper, somebody that you should just be terrified to play man against. And then you get away from all the conventional stuff, and we still always have that threat of Lamar Jackson running the ball. And what you don't want is to play man coverage, because the result is you play perfect man coverage and Lamar Jackson takes it and he has a one-on-one with somebody in space. And so it comes down to the pass rush, which is just one person. And we'll see what happens. That's the way that it. And then the other thing I thought this morning was all right, turnovers could change this, because if we think that the Ravens offense is pretty much match up well against this team and kind of unstoppable in this situation, then mistakes and turnovers. Lamar doesn't seem to put the ball at risk that much. Yeah. And Derrick Henry, he fumbled on week 1 and it was an aberration. So it's really hard. It's obviously, whereas they're NFL team, so they're going to put up a good fight, but it's really hard to imagine a situation where Kelvin Shepard's defense is able to slow down this Ravens offense.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to have to turn him over, right? I don't like the Terrion Arnold versus Zay Flowers matchup for Detroit.
I was about to ask, yep.
Zay Flowers looks awesome, and Arnold does not. I don't like the lack of a pass rush outside of Hutchinson. You talked about that.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that when they play two tight ends, they match it entirely with base. This just feels like a recipe for killing them with play action. So I don't like this matchup for Detroit's defense. I think they really have to be able to run the football to have a chance in this.
And you mentioned likely coming back, another matchup nightmare. Like, who you got for that? And D-Hop apparently has turned back the hands of time. And I mean, I guess he didn't do anything that was a throwback. He did what he always does, is like tracks the ball better than everyone and catches everything.
So Domonique, you brought that the Ravens don't have like a true blue chipper receiver. Do you think Zay has played that way so far this year? Because that's what it feels like. I know there were moments last year where the consistency wasn't like he's a true number one guy, but through 2 weeks this year, he sort of has that look.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to take more than a couple of weeks. So I think the difference is they have Zay as the best, and we'll say he's capable of giving you blue chip games.
Yeah.
But I don't think of him, and this might be a mistake that I'm making. Maybe I'm behind. But I don't think of him as a guy, which is not fair to talk about the type of blue. So I'm not going to name the names of the guys that you know, but he's not like that.
Jamar Chase,
right? Yeah, like
Malik Neighbors.
I guess that's what
Jefferson.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking when I'm saying like a true blue chipper. I think on their offense, they got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Those are the guys that you're like, if we can do everything right and they could still beat us. I don't think they have that as far as the tight ends and receivers are concerned.
Yeah, I agree. I think they have a lot of really good skill players who have blue chip traits. Like Zay Flowers is so good at separating.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't look at him and think like, ooh, I can put him up against any corner in the NFL and he's going to win in every situation when you think of like the true elite receivers. But like in this scheme, having a guy who can do that, who can separate the way he does, I mean, because of everything else that defenses have to account for, he's super valuable.
What if they drafted one of those guys one time? Just had a guy that
they're trying
that required a double team.
Yeah.
Like they had a guy that required a double team.
I mean, do we need to make it more unfair?
No, I know.
Henry.
It's insane. I guess it's just insane what they have right now already. But I don't know. I thought we did a really good job on that game. Who's next?
Mina, who's your good game?
Playoff rematch, Rams Eagles. This is a great game. Fascinating to me, both sides of the ball. I think we can talk about the Eagles offense first. You know, they are not pushing it downfield at all. I think they're going to have to in this game to keep up with what's going on the other side of the football. And I also think if they don't, it's going to get pretty hairy in Philadelphia for Kevin Patullo. And, you know, we talked about it. I talked about it with Greg Rosenthal on my pod, Dominique, and he said, this feels exactly like it did like a couple of years ago, the way we're talking about this offense. To your eye, I should be specific. The reason it matters, I think this Rams cornerback group can be had. They've down a cornerback now.
Yep.
When you watch the Eagles passing attack, which has been, you know, fairly anemic, do you feel it's about Hurts, or do you think it's about the play calling, or do you think it's about AJ Brown? Like, what jumps out to you as the single biggest reason why they're not doing it?
Well, it's definitely not about AJ Brown or the receivers. I think that they have a limited menu as far as play calls are concerned, or passing concepts are concerned. I think that hurts them some also. I would assume that is a result of what they believe the quarterback can do and what they believe they need to do. So I guess that would stem some of the blame onto Hurts, but I think ultimately, like, it's about the design of the offense. And the offense is one. I feel like this game and another game that we're going to talk about soon is just offense is so much about explosives. And like in my mind, maybe I should draw this up for you, but I have like a pyramid of like production. And as far as scoring points is the most important thing to offense. Under that, explosive plays. And then under that is running the ball, and offensive line and quarterback talent is in there somewhere. Yeah. But there's a bunch of different things. But I do think explosive plays are more important than we give it credit for. And the Eagles had the perfect situation last year where they could hand off the ball and get explosives. Mm-hmm. And not just 10 yards, because I think 10 yards is what qualifies as a run game explosive. Yeah. They could hand it off and get 40-yard explosives.
And to your point, against this Rams team, Saquon rushed for, in 2 games, I think 457 yards.
Yeah. So if they can't do that, and they don't have explosives through the air, and that's where their matchup, to your point, with Witherspoon out, not that he was going to like shut down A.J. Brown, but with him out, they take one step down. This seems obviously to me where their strength is. Their offensive line presumably can protect against this very good Rams front, but where they should win this game. And this is the Ravens example. It's like the Ravens ran the out of ball week 1. The next week, the Browns stopped the run. You know what we did? We air it out. This is where the Eagles are like, this is where you need to show us that you have this other tool in the bag.
I would say the other thing, though, that really matters from a play calling perspective isn't just airing it out, but they really need to be prepared for the blitz and for pressure in this one. Because going back and watching some of the plays from the divisional round, Shula threw a lot at Jalen Hurts, right? A lot of simulated pressures, walking up linebackers. So, and thus far this season, it's been kind of underwhelming versus the blitz. Like, this to me is a big challenge for Kevin Patullo. Can you put your quarterback in the right position to succeed against these Rams pressures? Because that was something that Kellen Moore did really well. It's a big part of why that offense bounced back, but early on, you're not really seeing it.
I think the other side, the matchup's pretty interesting too, where like I think there are legitimate questions when you look at the tape of Jalen Carter, sort of whether it's conditioning or loaf or whatever, in that Chiefs game, which led to a couple big plays from Mahomes, and that defensive line. You know, they're the youngest defense in the NFL, and you look at that defense from a couple years ago, they had a lot more experience, and there are certainly benefits to it, but that defense does not look as dominant as it did last year.
It's funny how, like, I remember the Darius Slay talking about the shifting and leadership stuff and how that became a thing. And leadership is not something we think about very much because we can't measure it and we don't really know what that means. But you bringing up that point, like, jumps out to me as, like, that's something that we didn't see last year.
Yeah.
I don't know why we didn't see it, but we didn't see it last year. And you're going to have to be, if their offense is going to play the way that they wanted to play, and I think this is going to, it feels like it's becoming a recurring theme talking about game script. Their offense is going to play the way that they want them to play. Their defense is going to have to be really good to protect that game script. Because what you really don't, again, he's another one of these quarterbacks is that you don't want to get him in a situation. Not to say that he's bad, but like the best version of him and the best version of any quarterback is when they have that run pass threat. And if you get in that situation, if your defense falls apart to the point where you can sometimes get behind and you're not in the game, and you really limit what you're going to do. And then you can really let loose on all those crazy blitzes and sims.
And by the way, this might be the week where the defense looks a lot better because Fangio versus McVay, he's sort of like at times been McVay's kryptonite, going back to laying the blueprint for the original Rams Super Bowl where the Patriots ended up using that very similar defensive scheme. But of course, McVay's evolved considerably since then. But at one point, that was tough.
I think that McVay's going to attack Adoree Jackson in this one, and I'm very interested in seeing how Fangio protects him. Like, Sean McVay is not going to look at this cornerback group and say, cool, Puka Nacua, line up in the slot, go up against Cooper DeJean. He didn't do that the last time they played. I mentioned this, Puka Nacua was mostly lined out wide against this Eagles defense. You remember Quinyon Mitchell got hurt in that game. He has drawn, I guarantee you, a circle around Adoree Jackson, and they're going to find, whether it's with Nacua or Devontae Adams, they are going to find a way to go. The Chiefs obviously are not capable of that right now with the receivers. The Rams have one of the best 1-2 punches a receiver in the NFL right now, and they are going to go after him.
And by the way, I mean, this is not shacking because Matt Stafford, I feel like, is...
There we go. That's where I was going next. But anyway, go ahead.
He's been nuclear.
My God.
Yeah, he's been nuclear. He's also like, I don't know if this is a rare skill or just something that you notice with him because he feeds targets to his best players. He gelled immediately with Devontae Adams. Immediately.
I also like I used to believe that like accuracy was the most important trait for a quarterback. And then I stopped believing that in part because I would see really accurate quarterbacks fail. But accuracy at the level that Matt Stafford has, it makes it feel like Breeze-esque, and he doesn't need to read the coverage. It's just like I could put it in the one spot consistently enough. I can put it in the one spot where it's possible. And I guess that's how he ends up with some turnovers because some throws that he throws is like, if he's a foot off, this is going back the other way.
Arrogance.
Right. But he hits them so often that I'm like, he's a guy who breaks defenses.
There's no defense for the perfect throw, and he makes like 5 or 6 of them a game. It's like, and by the way, again, he has these unbelievably gifted receivers. I mean, Nacua, good Lord. Like, some of the catches he's making as far as the season are so crazy. Yeah, I'm excited for this offense to get this challenge and this spotlight game because I think we're going to learn a lot about both teams.
I feel like, I know we don't really pick winners and losers, but I'm surprised at how Rams positive this particular game feels in the conversation. I'm not surprised after watching it and prepping for it, but I'm just surprised listening to it because.
Well, I think the Eagles are going to be better at the end of the season than they are now. So I think that the Rams are kind of hitting them at the.
There you go. Cover our tracks.
Well, and that's, they get this even with the way that they're using Saquon. This. If you didn't idealize Saquon season, the Eagles win the division, are near the top of the conference, and he's fresh for the end of the year.
I talked about, by the way, the Rams attacking Adoree Jackson. On the flip side, so Khalil Witherspoon's out, so they're going to play Emmanuel Forbes at corner. Y'all remember him from the Commanders. Of course. And you remember what last time it happened? A.J. Brown went up against Emmanuel Forbes. It was not pretty. The other thing I'm doing, if I'm with Saquon, I am running right at that man.
Mm-hmm. All 160 pounds of him. Mina, Forbes
don't
is
disrespect the light DBs, man.
As he is very light.
He's tall.
And he's taller than you. So, Mina, Forbesing as a Commanders fan is like a term. And in my Commanders group chats after the Packers game, we were very worried if Micah Parsons Forbes Josh Connerly. I don't think that'll happen, but it was discussed. We were worried. So
I liked him as a prospect. So
he's a great mover.
Machine.
He's very athletic. Oh, you're talking about Forbes? Yeah, he was a ball hawk. Sadly, we took him right ahead of Christian Gonzalez.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I forgot that. It's brutal.
Just genuine laughter.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's
because Gonzalez dropped. They thought he was going to be right there with Witherspoon, and then it was dropped. Anyway, my good game of the week is Broncos Chargers. My pitch for this,
game.
Yeah, a lot of reasons this is a great game. But I think this is from for us potentially a narrative shattering game of what we thought these teams were going to be before the season, of how good we thought the Broncos were going to be, and where we thought the Chargers fell in the AFC West pecking order, as the Broncos being that team who could challenge the Chiefs for the division. I think if anyone thought that there was a team that could beat the big three supremacy of the Bills, Ravens, and Chiefs in the AFC, it was the Broncos. That still might be the case.
But by we, you mean they, because you didn't believe that.
That's because I'm contrarian. But that
was not because you actually did believe it. You just, too many people were saying they were good, and you were like, nah.
That's exactly right. Fade the nerds. But also, on the other side of that, Herbert and this Chargers offense, and obviously Jesse Minter had the defense looking really good, and you had Louis Riddick saying this guy's going to be a head coach one day in their Monday night victory against.
All right, Louis Riddick isn't the first person to say that about Jesse Minter. Let's relax.
Hey.
Okay.
Come on. He went second over on the Mina Kimes head coach draft this offseason.
Before Louis Riddick said that Jesse Minter was going to be a head coach one day, Mina Kimes said that Jesse Minter was going to be
saying we did a head coach draft and he was second overall. Let's not act like this is come out.
I digest a lot of your content. I'm sorry I missed the head coach draft.
You're watching Task. Yeah, you're all over everything.
Either way, I'm very excited to see both sides of the Chargers in this game and how good Herbert's looked. He's leading the league in targets to wide receivers. This is sort of what we wanted to see from him for a long time, and it feels like the Greg Roman offense is not just hammering the ball with the running backs. It's letting Herbert be Herbert.
Are receivers who you really want to throw to in this game, though, against this team? I'll go with the other side of the ball. Charlie alluded to this. We are discussing the show Task on viewer discretion. If you guys are interested, go check it out. Me and David Jones Jr. The show is basically about what it's like to be in an impossible situation with no answers. I feel like Bo Nix is going to be in Task this week against this Chargers defense. Jesse Minter is going to close the walls on him. I am so in on the Chargers defense. It is not Dominique. We got to talk about it after Monday Night Football. But by that point, I had to watch any of the tape. I just watched the TV copy because we talked about it on Tuesday morning. Holy smokes! Dominique, please speak on the Chargers defense. The secondary is playing, and the linebackers are playing at such a high level right now. It's crazy.
Man, Derwin James.
Yeah, Derwin's incredible, and I think the key to this is the safety play. I would say that their pattern recognition is what has been impressive. Is they're supremely prepared for these games in a way that I think it feels like they understand the concepts and they have good enough keys that they are. Tarheeb Still too. Shout out Terp.
It's been great. It's been awesome.
Oh, yeah. those guys are finding these routes or running these routes along with the receivers in a way that suggests to me that they are studying film at a level that other teams are not. I think that's incredibly impressive. But I think I might surprise you a little bit with this, Mina, is I think that this game is going to be decided by turnovers and explosives, because as good as the Chargers
insert any game.
No. I think this game specifically, because the point that I want to make, I get your point. Yeah, that sounds stupid. But my point is the Broncos want to throw short screens and take big chunks and play action big chunks.
Yeah.
And right now, their offense has been a little challenged because those big chunks have also resulted in a higher number of turnovers or interceptions than they got last year. And I will say this about as much as I agree with you and I love this Chargers defense, they have given up more explosive than I expected by watching how they play. And some of them are through the run and some of them through the pass. They're going to keep the Broncos. I don't think they have any other style of play. Like, they can't play any other way. They're going to throw screen passes, run the ball, hopefully better, and they're going to set up Bo Nix to take big shots. And that's where I would, if they're going to be competitive in this game, it's going to be because their defense balls out and because the Chargers defense gives up the big shots, which, again, it's through 2 games, so it's not a crazy number, but they're ranking up there pretty high with giving up explosives relative to everyone else.
Some of it is structural, right? They play a ton of quarters. So the way you beat quarters, you got to be able to throw over the top. You got to be able to run the football. That's what I hear you on the explosives and the turnovers. I totally agree. To beat this Chargers defense, I think you got to be explosive and you got to run the football. So I'm very interested in seeing if the Broncos can run the ball, because they've been okay.
Yeah.
But like coming into the year, I thought this was going to be like, wow, it's going to be a rejuvenated run game. What a great run blocking. They drafted a guy. They've Dobbins. I think you got to do that against LA. You got to be able to run the football. Otherwise, you got no chance against this defense.
And I mean, the reason why we were talking about how impressive this defense was in quarters, I talked about this with Mina on her show, is like the safeties getting a read on the end man on the line of scrimmage, how aggressive they're going to be in those situations. It makes them susceptible to like play action. But if you have good safeties that get good read, then you have 2 extra attackers in the run game. And if they get a good read, then you have 2 extra defenders in the pass game. If the play action is strong, if it's aggressive, and it's going to get you in trouble. And I guess that's the question is, will Sean Payton be able to design tricky enough play actions to get that secondary in trouble and make big plays? Explain
why they're playing close quarters. You're playing closer to the line of scrimmage, the safeties, right? So theoretically, it can help you, but you also can, if you get nosy, you can be susceptible.
You're trying to get the best of both worlds is what you're really trying to do. Is like you have your safeties who are lined up like over the tight ends or tackles, and they're reading. If they see run, they hit it. If they're wrong, then there's nobody back there. If they see a pass read, which is not looking at the ball, it's looking at the end man on the line of scrimmage normally, or an uncovered offensive lineman like a guard or something. If they get pass wrong, then you're outnumbered in the box, and they're getting 5 yards before you can even touch them. Oh, we're getting deep in it. I can feel Charlie getting angry.
What? I've been.
I misread you. I thought the blank look on your face was you putting it all together.
I was actually. We'll get to it later in the show. I was seeing who Mina picked for Survivor last week.
Oh, okay. So I knew something else was going on.
I got distracted. Yeah, you picked the Rams. Yeah, I just had to check the spreadsheet. All right, good bad game. Domonique, who you got?
My good bad game, Jacksonville versus Houston.
Loser leaves town, feels like, right? If the Texans lose this, whew.
I love watching that Texans defense. That Monday night game was just the tip of the iceberg. It's not even, I mean, they are really good, but they are crazy. Like, they play with an aggression that you would expect from some of those players, but you don't see often. And that's fun. To see that go and challenge what feels like a fragile, like emotionally fragile Jags offense is going to be fun. I would easily pick the Texans if it wasn't for the fact that you look at the other side of the ball for the Texans and you're like, oh, man.
What do you think? I tweeted this during the Monday night game, but I want to get your thought. What do you think it looks like when the Texans defense plays the Texans offense in practice?
It is scary, I'm sure. Well, those guys, I'm sure, have a lot of practice of pulling off of the quarterback. Like, I don't think that there's...
Dude, I hate watching the Texans offense so much. Yeah. It's probably, next to the Chiefs, my least favorite unit to watch in the NFL. I mean, there's worse. I'm not But like, those are two great quarterbacks who should be fun to watch, and they're not fun to watch at all.
Yeah, there's not much else to talk about when it comes to the Texan offense.
Which quarterback's in more peril this week? With the offensive line play.
Yeah, I mean,
and defense included, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's I'm gonna say that it's Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
I think Trevor Lawrence is in more peril.
So, by the way, you talked about the narratives of this. How much of that, like, there's the Brian Thomas Jr. People are questioning if it's a business decision. You had Trevor Lawrence waving off Liam Cohen, and then the other part of it is the Travis Hunter of it all, where it doesn't seem like they necessarily have a plan for him. I know that they, like, week 1 he played 6 snaps on defense. Week 2 he played 30 plus snaps on defense. But still, we are 2 weeks into the season, and the concern was that he was going to play too much. There have been 100 guys in the league, more than 100 guys in the league who have played more snaps than him. Like, I don't really understand what they're doing with him and the offense in general so far.
I mean, I think they have a plan for him. It's not working, but it's also not working because the offense is not good. And I think that's part of the problem. It's like, I think the way that they're trying to use him, I don't like. And on defense, like,
they're using him like Curtis Samuel on offense.
Yeah, which I don't appreciate. And on defense, like, he had that penalty that I don't think was a penalty, and he's just not out there in those situations. Like, I think it's early to make any declarations about him. Also, I didn't get to talk about this at all. Like, what Liam Cohen did in the middle of that game was, or not in the middle game, end of that game, slap it on his chest. Like, I just thought it was.
And he put it right on his chest. And the next throw, that's the ball that bounced off of
I just think
DJ's hands.
I know no one cares. It's not a big deal, but like,
I actually didn't see it.
Oh yeah. It was when Trevor Lawrence waved off Liam Cohen because Liam Cohen was yelling from the sideline, like, put it on his chest, like saying that Trevor was inaccurate, which I just think is.
And the next throw was a dot that bounced off of Brian Thomas Jr.'s
You're defending him showing up as quarterback.
No, I'm not. I was taking your side. That I was like.
Anyway. I sidetracked us a little bit, but there's no answer. I feel like it's too early to have an answer on the Travis Hunter situation, but you're right. This isn't working out the way that we expected it to, or they wanted it to.
Yeah, I mean, you don't draft a guy and give up that much for him to catch screens.
Yeah.
And come on.
It's very strange. Mina, what's your good bad game?
Cowboys Bears, because I think both these defenses stink, so I'm excited for the offense in this game. I think Dak Prescott and this rejuvenated Cowboys rushing attack are going to have a field day against the Bears defense, which is terrible. And I feel like there's an opportunity here for the Caleb Williams to finally put it together, because he really was not bad this last week, and it was kind of funny watching everybody sort of arrive at that conclusion when everybody actually watched the actual game. And this is a bad Cowboys defense. They're bad.
Yeah.
We saw what Russell Wilson did to them. So, like, there's, to me, real potential for everybody calm the F down about Caleb Williams, but he obviously has to rise to the occasion.
Eberflus about to reclaim his pride. He's going to get his Cowboys defense to stand up against the Bears. Eberflus revenge game. That's what we're looking forward to. Yeah, I mean, I think Dak's going to light him up, obviously. And the question is, can Caleb light him up back? Because the issue last week wasn't as much Caleb. Like, we would have a different feeling if their defense could have kept that game close. Even if they lost, Caleb played well enough, I think, for us to have a better feeling about him after that game. But we still generally were like, they got that kicked again. Their quarterback must suck.
Chicago Bears, if you can't run the ball in Dallas, I want you to trade for a back at halftime. I haven't identified the back yet.
Yeah.
But come on.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I was going to say, is it crazy for me to say, I was just reading Mike Sanda's article where he talked about how they have juiced the balls for kickers this year, where they give them 60 balls before the season and they can sort of shape them. I'm sure they're making them much more stub-nosed and sandpapering off some of the grit so that you can get even less drag. Am I wrong to think in a game where they're like, there could be 70 points in this game, knowing these defenses, that Brandon Aubrey's the most exciting player because he could try a 70-yarder?
No, I'm on Charlie's side, because I've been asked now on multiple shows this week, kicker's too strong and like she's the touchback or whatever. I'm sorry, I love these long field goals. I think it's like the drama around them. The Cowboys running a draw to set up Brandon Aubrey for a 60-plus 64-yarder was one of the coldest things I've seen an NFL team do in some time. I loved every second of it.
You did not respect Charlie's question the way that I respected Charlie's question. I agree with you. I also appreciate watching Brandon Aubrey kick bombs. But most exciting? Let's not get crazy.
I don't know. It's pretty exciting. Like those 8 when they're running on the kicker. And also like depending the longer the kick is though. Also, then it becomes you're the coach that's just giving the other team the ball in your own side of the field. You're giving the other team points when you trot Aubrey.
Yeah, the Bears are facing CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, and they don't have Jalen Johnson. They should not be kicking field goals in this game.
Or at least they should be kicking long ones.
Bill Simmons had a great idea on it. It was kind of like a throwaway thing on his podcast. I went on his show, and when he said it, I was like, I kind of like it. And the more I thought about it, what if we limited the number of field goals that coaches could kick a game? So they had to be
softball. Like
Like they have to be judicious about it because one, it would introduce a level of strategy that would completely F bad coaches' brains, and we'd get to watch some of the most hilarious. Like they'd be in position, but they used up all their field goal attempts.
I like it because generally, like the idea of altering the kicking game in some way, like I used to think that your kicker had to be a player, like you had to participate in at least 10 other plays to be a kicker, because that was fun. Because like originally, not that you have to stick to the original concept of football, but the original concept of football was not like to have one guy who don't do but kick. That's a little weird. But I mean, this is it does devalue the kicker overall.
I mean, I would love that. Also, like, can you imagine Brandon Staley getting back in the league and then leaving a game that they lose by 7 with like all 3 of his field goals still in the back pocket because he went for it on every 4th down? Distinctly possible.
That's crazy too, because if you miss a field goal, you've just given up a field goal opportunity. They would try fewer long ones.
Yeah, I know. I just think it'd be really. Yeah, I was like, the more I thought about it, the more I liked the strategic aspect of it, because he was talking about how the end of 2 of the Colts Broncos game, right, which the Broncos should have won. When he kicked a field goal, but then there was the leverage penalty. So, like, what if that field goal attempt counted, though, and you don't get to kick? I loved it.
Then people would commit penalties. I mean, that could, if the penalty, the field goal doesn't count, because then they would commit a penalty.
That's
this
true.
Is also a larger scale. NBA, take notes of this. Limit the amount of threes. It would be awesome. Don't use your threes until you need them.
We're going to get into a whole nother conversation because you said NBA. My lone complaint about the tush push is because it reminds me of foul grifting in the NBA.
Yeah.
Get it out of here. Get it out of here. Anyway, moving on.
My good bad game is Chiefs Giants. I'm fascinated by this game. I mean, I know Mina. I know
Dan Patrick, I went on his show this morning. Yeah. He asked me, what would happen if the Chiefs lost to the Giants? And my brain broke like the field goal equation if we limited them for coaches. Because I was like, oh my gosh, that's the first time I ever considered that might happen.
Thank you. Just really makes you think. Like,
you know why they're not losing? Because it's Steve Spagnuolo versus Russell Wilson. Like, it'll be real. Like, it's not happening.
Yeah, and that offensive line is still that offensive line.
Yeah, but like, okay.
He's going to
So it's just neighbors, is all you're saying.
No, I'm just saying,
diabolical.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys
like
defense
Ken Neighbors scored 4 touchdowns.
If the Giants somehow go up by double digits, if Russ, who last week had the 450, if they have a couple explosives, they get it by 2 scores, do you really have faith in the Chiefs winning that game?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's Patrick Mahomes going up against the Giants.
Okay.
They will find a way to score.
You don't have any morbid curiosity that, like, it's like, what if this offense just still...
Oh, no. I don't think this offense is good. I just can't contort my brain into thinking that the Giants offense is going to score more against the Chiefs defense than the Chiefs offense will against the Giants defense. It's hard for me to imagine. If the Giants get up early, I think then Mahomes is just going to come back. Like, it's possible. It's
kind of a perfect good bad game because if it's close, if it starts, like, your brain will be breaking watching it.
Also, if they barely beat them, then we're going to still have the same conversation about the Chiefs. Oh, they're so bad.
Very true. Very true.
All right, I got a couple bad games.
Bads.
The first one, the backup QB bowl. Bengals Vikings.
Yeah.
Okay, love this game.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz.
I broke Orlovsky's brain on this one. Speaking of breaking brains,
Okay.
on
you brought
first
Wentz.
take, rather.
Oh, you asked him to multiply?
Because we were doing
What-
the who's under the most pressure this week, and
that was a good joke.
I was like, so obviously CJ Stroud, they have to win these games. Like if they don't win, they're 0-3, right? And Stephen A. brought up JJ McCarthy and how he hasn't been playing well. And Dan was like, how could you say that about JJ McCarthy? He's only played 2 games, which is fair. But then I said, well, what if Carson Wentz comes in there, and balls out, Dan? Then can you imagine the discourse around JJ McCarthy? And of course, Dan, that was like the meme of the 2 buttons guy where he was like, what's he gonna do in that situation?
Carson Wentz was Dan's first quarterback love. Like, as Dan was becoming a public figure, it was on the back of Carson Wentz takes.
I texted you 2 days ago about this, and you said, no, there's no way Dan's really could still get sucked back into Carson Wentz. No way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was like, is there no way in KOC's system if he ignites the run game because he's a hoss?
He is. I don't. So Charlie asked me because Dan and I would have Dak versus Wentz conversations. It was like the sad version of Lamar versus Josh Allen debate. It's the saddest Lamar versus Josh debate ever. Well, actually, Dak's pretty damn great.
Yeah.
And Charlie was like that he and I could reunite the Dak versus Wentz debate, and I was like, no. Dan's not crazy enough to be fooled to jump on to this Wentz train, even if it goes well.
But it's gonna be like the Green Goblin mask calling to him from the corner if he plays well. So
yeah.
That is
the dissonance in his
game.
brain is gonna be funny to watch too, where it's like, oh, but I gotta say Wentz, but oh no, McCarthy. I don't know if Wentz is gonna play well in this. I think that we have created this idea, which I think is mostly true, is that you're going to get the best version of this particular quarterback with KOC. And that's probably true. But I think that's a result of someone who makes quick decisions and is comfortable delivering on time in the pocket, right? And so Carson Wentz is not that quarterback.
Yeah, you're thinking like Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins.
Yeah,
they're able to get. I mean, obviously Darnold's more
guys who
better than that, but
guys who have what success they have had has been a result of operating within structure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure that Carson Wentz is going to suddenly get into this game and operate within structure. He's like. He got bounced around for a bunch of different teams because he was taking sacks and holding on to the ball and wasn't quite the athlete that he thought he was. Like, I don't know that this is going to work as well as we think it's going to. That's all.
Who's saying they think it's going to? I didn't say anything about that. I just said it would be funny.
Yeah. No, I guess I'm responding to the general feeling right now, because doesn't it feel generally that everyone's like, hey, Wentz is a cast-off quarterback with KOC. He's going to be better.
I don't know if it feels that way or if they feel that just because McCarthy has looked rough for 7 of the 8 quarters he's played, like very out of his depth. That I think the bigger, like the first thing I texted you, Domonique, was, or when it happened, we were watching together in person. I was like, is it possible that they're just going to look better with Wentz than they did with McCarthy to start the year? And that's, I think, the curiosity of it more than is Wentz going to like reignite his career.
They're definitely going to look better. And it's not just because Wentz is like, I think Darrishaw's coming back. Like,
is he back in this game?
I think so.
That's
Last
great,
I checked. Yeah,
I think they're going to be able to run the ball a lot better than certainly against this Bengals defense. I like Jordan Mason a lot.
My last bad game, this one can be quicker. It's 2-2-0 teams. It's Cardinals 49ers.
Yeah.
Do you guys really think either of these teams are good or fun to watch?
First of all, you can't call it a bad if there's no losses between either of the teams.
My rule is bad game.
I am not excited to watch this game. You're right. My NFC West favorites have been the Seahawks and the Rams. So, like, I kind of agree with you. I don't believe in either of these teams as much. The Falcons offense the Cardinals, I feel like, are a more exciting team to watch because, like, the defense is going to be weird and the offense has Kyler Murray, which always makes it a little bit more fun. Speaking of Kyler Murray, what the hell was he thinking? But that stuff makes them a little bit more interesting. Like, the 49ers, I haven't gotten it since before the season. I haven't gotten what other people were seeing and why they seem to be. I mean, outside of they have an easy schedule, I just haven't gotten it, and it hasn't so far this season, they haven't done much for me to change my mind. Playing well against the Seahawks, but like kind of winning on some weirdness at the end. Yeah. I don't know. I could just be wrong, but I'm not high on either of these teams.
Cardinals played the Saints and the Panthers. This is a good gut check game, right? Yeah. For both of them.
Cool. Let's do it.
Survivor. We're almost done. So
we lost last week,
but we have 2 lives. Mina has 1. So we both have 1 life left.
Yeah, you got to find the green mushroom.
There's no 2 birds with 1 stone with this. I picked the Commanders. Domonique.
I picked the Commanders.
Actually, he picked the Commanders. I didn't want to pick the Commanders.
You picked the Commanders over the Packers last week?
You were here. Why are you acting surprised?
I know. I just wanted to remind people how dumb that was.
We got hype. We got hyped up, and I was telling Charlie what happened was I was telling Charlie that he was pretending like he was actually confident because when the game started, he actually gets nervous. So then he overcompensated and picked a game that we all knew was a bad idea.
That's right. All right, Mina, since I guess you won last week, even though we are still alive and we both have one life left. Who do you want to pick this week? You have picked so far this season the Steelers and the Rams, so they're the 2 teams that are off the board for you.
I'm going to take the Bucs over the Jets this week.
Ooh, good pick.
And we are going to take we
need to win. We're taking the Packers over the Browns.
All right, I like it.
Wasting your Packers pick right now? Or the Browns? Such an easy competition.
You know what? We're taking the win.
We
both have one life left. We're taking the win.
No question.
You don't both have one. What?
Yeah, we do. We share a life.
We
share a life.
Yeah. Oh, you combined have. I thought you meant you each have.
Yeah, we've become one person. Yeah. And we gave up 1 life last week out of arrogance and stupidity, and now we got another one. We'll find if we lose that one, we'll find another way to convince you that we're still alive.
It's week 3. How many weeks of the preseason are there?
3 now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Mina. Thank you so much. You're the best. Everyone go watch and follow and like and review all the things that Mina's associated with.
If you're watching Alien Earth or Task, go check out Viewer Discretion. It comes out Friday.
If you're not watching it, go check it out anyway. And then maybe you'll be motivated to watch it. Like me, when I was listening into her recording it, I was like, this show seems dope. And now I'm going to go watch it.
You would definitely like it. You should watch it.
Yeah. I'm going to watch it. I was asking Charlie if I can watch it with my 9th grade daughter who likes mysteries and stuff. But he was like, I don't know. But he said, yeah, but he's like, I don't know.
Well, I said that I would have watched it at that age, but I don't know if that's always the best guide.
Nah, we're progressing in a way that kids are exposed to more and more things. I don't think that kids in 2025 are as innocent as you, Charlie, was back in those days wearing basketball shorts under your khaki pants. We out. Thank you, Charlie. Thanks to all the great producers. I love you, Pavel. We out.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.